And another one, like DJ Khaled, I'm back again. I'm pretty sure you're already tired of my voice, but this is the best way to deliver it, I think. And hopefully one day we'll be together and, uh, you know, it'll be better. But until then, I think this is the best way to get things across to you guys and to teach you the lesson. But if you guys have any suggestions, just let me know. Uh, but just know that I have to deliver the lesson in some way. And I think this is the best way because you guys can, stop it, rewind it, rewatch it. And I just think it's always there for you to use. So, with that in mind, let's move on to day 3. Okay, so I apologize in advance because day 3 is all about grammar. Now, Ms. Garcia has a degree in English from the University of Texas at Austin. I love to write. I'm a total nerd, but even I hate grammar. So, with that in mind, go ahead and groan. I already hear that, oh, I hate grammar and but whys. Believe me, I understand more than you know. So I'm going to give you about 5 seconds to whine, grumble, and complain. I promise you that I also did the same, not only when I created the lesson, but right before I got on here because bleh to grammar. But to be good writers, you have to understand grammar, okay? And I've learned that with American students, we learn grammar when we're young, and then we break all the rules and forget it. So this is just a recap of some of the most basic things, and I just really need to figure out where you guys are with it, okay? So now that you've had a moment, I promise we'll survive this together. Just trust me, I promise you'll be alive at the end. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to complete the grammar diagnostic. Now, diagnostic means that I'm just trying to assess or ascertain what you know. It's only like 15 questions long. It only takes 15 minutes to complete. And I'm just asking you to do your best. The reason I'm asking you to do your best is because I'm going to use it to gauge how much grammar I have to teach, right? So if all of you kind of just fly through it and nobody gets any of the grammar right, then I'm going to have to spend a lot of time on grammar. But if you do your best, and let's say it's just prepositions everybody's struggling with, then I just need to do a lesson on prepositions, and we don't have to spend so much time on grammar. So please save me and yourselves all the misery of grammar by doing your best. So the grammar diagnostic is going to look like this, but let me show you where it's at. You're going to go back up to day 3, and it's right here, grammar diagnostic. Again, it is timed. So the minute you hit start, you have 15 minutes for 15 questions. So even if you're not good at math, you should know that's a minute per question. All right? When you're done, you're going to go ahead and review parts of speech. Now, this is going to be a Nearpod. Nearpod has been acting up. Hopefully, it's working tomorrow. If not, I will share out the PPT with you, probably in PDF form, so that you guys can review it. You do need to put your first and last name so that I know that you've looked at it. And I'm going to kind of walk you through it real quick. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because I really want you to go through it, jot down any notes and questions you have. And what you can actually do is use the grammar diagnostic to help show you what you really need to study. Because when you're done with the diagnostic, it will provide you the answers. And let's say you did really good on things like nouns and verbs, but not so well on adjectives and adverbs, then spend your time studying adjectives and adverbs, okay? Because there is going to be a post-assessment at the end of this lesson. So let's just take a quick look. Again, you're going to put your name. So my name's Andrea Garcia. I want your full name. And take a look. You're going to join the session, but right now I'm just going to click through this. So this is parts of speech. So first we start with pronouns. So think of pronouns as replacement words. We use them all the time. They are me, I, we, you, your, he, she, they. So we normally use them to replace people, right? It is also a pronoun. So, but remember, we do not use it for people, ever. So just make sure you're not calling Susan it, right? She would be she. All right. So to be able to replace nouns, you need to know what nouns are. You need to remember this. PPT, people, place, things. Ideas or things, okay? PPT is the best way to remember it. What's a noun? PPT, people, place, things. We have two types of noun. We have common nouns, which are things that are not named, so like animals, dog, those type of things. But when you give something a name, that name is a noun, and it's considered a proper noun, and those are the types that we capitalize. So city is a common noun, but Austin is a proper noun because it's the name of a city. So you always capitalize names. So adjectives, describing words, they describe nouns, okay? And there's a certain order that they go in, and I want you to remember this because I can guarantee you at some time this year it will be on a test. So the adjective order is osa com. You have opinion, which is like ugly, smart, fat, those types of things. Those can be considered opinions because what is ugly to you may not be ugly to me. What is beautiful to me may not be beautiful to you. Size. Size can be like large, big. Fat can also go in this one, but I would really consider fat as an opinion, right? So size. Shape. Round, rectangular, circular, triangular, cylinder. Those are all shapes. Age. So that's old, young, teenager, adult, 35, or 41 like Miss Garcia, okay? Color, of course we all know our colors, and that can be any range of colors, right? So brown, black, white, tan, teal, those type of colors, pink. Origin is where something comes from, right? So that could be Asian, American, Mexican, Texan, right? Those are origin. And then material is what something is made of. So cotton, tweed, steel, rock, wooden, those are all materials. So again, remember the adjectives have to go in this order, osa com. And there's a formula when you're placing it in a sentence. It'll first start with an article, which is a and the, followed by the adjectives and then the noun. So an ugly, tiny, old woman, right? So woman would be the noun, and then I had my adjectives before it in the right order, and then I had an article before it. So again, pay close attention to this slide. Hint, hint, it will be on exams. Then we have action words, which is verbs. We all know verbs. We've known verbs since we were in elementary, and we're always in action, so we're always doing some form of verb, okay? So even when you're sitting, you're breathing, you're living, you're thinking, you're blinking. We're always in action. Just like nouns, verbs have terms that describe them, and they're called adverbs. And see that verbs is actually in the term. It's kind of adding on to the verb. We're modifying it or changing it. And one way to remember and distinguish adverbs is they mostly end in ly. Quickly, swiftly, slowly, right? Those terms are adverbs. And they tend to answer the following questions: the how, where, when, and to what extent, okay? Lately. So, tirelessly, those are all adverbs. So again, just like adjectives, I really want you to pay attention to this slide because, again, hint, hint, they will be on an exam at some point. Then you have your prepositions. And what's funny about prepositions is they are relationship words that we use in every sentence, every day, almost every second that we're talking. Yet most people do not know what they are called. They are called prepositions, and the most common ones are at, for, in, from, to, off, on, of, with. Again, we use these all the time. We just never know what they're called. So there's many, many more. If we ever get to come back to in person, I actually have a pretty fun preposition scavenger hunt where you guys go out into the school and demonstrate your knowledge of prepositions. Hopefully we'll get to do it one day. I'm trying to figure out a way for you guys to do it even if you're not on campus. So just give me a chance to think on that, okay? Now we have what's called linking words or conjunctions. Most of you will know conjunction as fanboys because that's really popular, especially when it's being taught in middle school. So fanboys are the most common, but there's other types of linking words such as however, which is one of my favorite words, and I will use it all the time. I really want you to study this slide and these types of linking terms because I want to see them being used in more complex sentences in your writing. You guys are in 10th grade now. I really want to see some strong complex sentences, which we'll discuss tomorrow. Then we have interjections, which are our emotion words like the wows and the ohs. I really want you to think of interjections almost like emojis, right? They express the emotions of something. So just keep that in mind. Hint for later, probably on an activity on Friday. Just, again, keep it in mind. So those are the parts of speech I really want you to become comfortable with and knowledgeable about, because if you know these, it's easier for you to be a better writer and a better reader if you understand these ones, okay? And again, use the results of your diagnostic test to help you study. Once you're done with that, I want you to gain some clarity or a better understanding of commonly confused terms. So there's a lot of terms in the English language that sound similar or sound exactly the same, but mean very different things. And even as somebody who has a degree in English and teaches English and studies English, I still struggle with some of these. So there's just a few that I really want you to work through. So the first are going to be some verbs. So there are terms like affect and effect, right? So affect is to have an influence on or cause a change in something, to where an effect is something brought about by a cause or a result of. So really pay attention to this slide. It will come on a test later in the year. So then we have raise, right, to raise your hand, and rise. Lay, as in to lay something down, and then lie, to lie down. I'm not talking about telling a lie, but the actual verb to actually lie down, right? Then we have may or might. So I want you to think of may as more of the maybe, right? There is a chance. There's a pretty good chance it might happen. To where might is kind of a little bit more up in the air, right? It could have been that way. It could maybe not have been that way. And then we have accept and accept. So accept is to like approve of something, to say yes. To where accept is to kind of exclude. And again, that is actually a preposition or a conjunction. So remember, preposition is relationship words and conjunctions are linking words. And then we have insure and insure. So to insure something means that it's going to happen. I can guarantee it. So I can assure you that there will be a test later that will have some of these terms on them. Insure means to offer like some sort of protection. Think of insurance, right? And then finally, hanged and hung. So we only use hanged when we're talking about the actual act of putting somebody to death. And hung is more of when you take an object and you put it like on your wall, right? I hung my diploma on the wall. So again, pay close attention. There are some words that you're like, I already know those. Don't worry so much about studying those, but those that kind of give you more trouble, pay close attention, take some notes so that you'll remember it later. Once you're done with the verbs, you're going to look at some commonly confused pronouns. So, and remember, pronouns are replacement words. So we have its and its. So, the its with the comma is a contraction, and a contraction is when you take two words and put them together to make one word. So it's the short form of it is, right? Or it has. So it's my lunch, right? In my head, I can say it is my lunch, but we normally will say it's. A quick note on contractions. I do not want to see contractions in your writing, at least when I'm telling you to write a formal essay. When I'm saying it's informal and I'm just looking for thought, I don't mind contractions. But when you write me your papers, do not use contractions. Spell it out. It is, okay? It's without the comma is meaning that it belongs to something. Okay, so then we have who and whom. And this one always gives me trouble. So I tend to give a little bit of leeway on this because even I struggle with it. But I would like you to know, right? So who does something and whom has something done to it. So who called, right? So who called somebody? You called whom. Remember the whom is being called. So just remember that. Your and your. So this your means it belongs to you, to where the your with the apostrophe is a contraction of you are. So I don't want to see this in the writing. I want you to write out you are. There, and there. Okay, so these also have a certain term when something sounds the same but means something different. We call them homophones. Homo means same. Phones means sound. So sound the same. So we have there, and there. This there, T-H-E-R-E, refers to a place, okay? To where there, T-H-E-I-R, indicates possession. So it's their house, right? Their house, the house belongs to them, is over there in that area, that place. Then T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E is a contraction. Remember, that's two words put together. That means it's they are, okay? So terms that sound the same but mean something different, such as meet and meat, right? Ate and ate. So one means to eat something and 8 is a number. Those are homophones. Remember that because we will be discussing them throughout the year. Okay, so then where, were, where. Where is an adverb and describes a location. Were is the plural past tense form of are. So like we were going somewhere. We're, W-E apostrophe R-E, is a contraction to indicate we are, okay? And here's another homophone. This is the most famous one. To, and to. This to is a preposition, so remember a relationship word. TOO means also or an excessive amount. So I'm going to, I'm also going, right? That's the same thing. That's too much food. That's in excess, okay? And then TWO, we all know that means the number 2. So again, these are called homophones. Homo means same. Phone means sound, so they sound the same. I've repeated that several times. Hint, hint, that will come up on exams. And then finally, on step 4, I want you to demonstrate your understanding after having taken the diagnostic and studied. I want you to take the post assessment by Friday before 11:59. Okay, so it's going to say parts of speech and commonly confused words. So I'm going to show you where that's at again. That is right here. This one you need to have done by Friday by 11:59. This one I do want you to complete by tomorrow during the class period, or at least before 11:59 tomorrow. Okay? That way I can get a good idea of where you guys are starting. Now, if I see significant improvement on the post assessment, that will cause me to change my strategies, and maybe we don't have to spend so much time on grammar in the future. Because again, I'm not a huge fan of grammar. It may be a little bit easy for me, but I don't like it. And so the least amount of time we can spend on it would be fabulous. So after you're done with that, I do want you to relax because there is a day 2 of grammar. I'm sorry, it has to be done. So tomorrow we will also talk about grammar. We're going to be talking about some sentence structures and putting those parts of speech into action. So again, if you have any questions, as always, contact me. You can contact me through Remind during the Zoom period or through email, and that email can be just the regular email or through Schoology. Try to make sure it's during my business hours. I might answer you outside of business hours, but Ms. Garcia can be very lazy sometimes, so it's just best to try to do it during business hours. If you guys need some more help, I have attached some links. These are some Schoolhouse Rock videos. Ms. Garcia is very old, and these videos are probably as old as Ms. Garcia, but they still get their point across and are pretty helpful and can be kind of funny in a very corny, childish way, but they're still helpful. So again, today what is really due is the grammar diagnostic and for you to review and take notes. By Friday, you need to have the post assessment completed by 11:59. Don't forget to also make sure that you have done the virtual learning Kahoot by 11:59 on Friday. The digital locker and discussion post are also due by 11:59 on Friday, as is the Schoology email. That's also due Friday, 11:59 p.m. And if you have not sent me your first email as a reply to my welcome, you need to make sure to get that done, and you need to be joining the Remind, okay? I keep repeating these things because I want to stress them, and I want to make sure that you know exactly what is expected of you. I do want to say your guys' digital lockers are fabulous. I love them. It's making me very happy to see some of the things that you guys like. I really appreciate how well you guys have been adapting and really doing your work when you're supposed to, and making sure that you take that attendance assessment. I will also post an attendance assessment for day 3. You'll see that in there as well. Make sure you do it so you can get credit. But you guys have just been doing a fabulous job. During the day, you guys have been popping in asking questions when you need. So I'm just really proud of the progress you guys are making, and also just how well you guys have adapted to such a challenging situation. So thank you. So again, ask if you need help, and I will see you through Zoom tomorrow, and you will probably hear my voice many, many, many times before you get to see me. All right, guys, have a wonderful day.